Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so this is part 2 of the Derrick Todd Lee, the victims of Derrick Todd Lee. And also, please stay tuned for the end of this episode because we have an interview with one of the family members of a victim.
Yeah.
So yeah, but where did we leave off? And you had a correction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Corrections corner. So initially we talked about Gina Wilson Green as being the first victim of Derrick Todd Lee. That was just like the start of my research, but I actually found out there were 2 more victims that were linked. It's unclear when exactly they were linked, but I think they were linked
Later on.
Yeah. But they were earlier victims.
Yeah.
So, Gina Wilson Green technically was not the first victim.
Yeah. Once they linked more.
Yeah.
And who were the 2 women?
The first one is Connie Warner, and they're Randy Mabrewer.
Okay.
Were the first 2.
Yeah. And were they in Baton Rouge?
Yes. Well, Connie was for sure, and then Randy, her, I believe she was from Zachary. Connie was 41. She went missing in late August of 1992. I don't think they initially didn't know who did it. So she was found beaten to death, and they didn't really have a suspect. They did have a suspect. It was her daughter's boyfriend.
That's the one.
They accused him, but I don't think they couldn't find any evidence to.
Right. Well, because didn't they also? Because her daughter was like supposed to be home that day or whatever, but went out and then came back and she couldn't find her mom. But didn't they had seen him like lurking around the house, looking through the window?
So in 2004, the ex-boyfriend of the daughter came forward and said, "Hey, I've been trying to tell y'all that I saw."
Right. Yeah.
Because that's what he said when the police questioned him. They were like, "No, I didn't do this. I saw a man lurking around," and none of the police believed him.
Right.
So
they thought it was him.
They were like, "You're just kind of just trying to throw suspicion off of yourself, whatever."
Yeah.
And then he came back around in 2004 after, Derrick Todd Lee had been found. He saw his picture and was like, "That's the guy that I saw lurking around her house all those years ago." And late August 1992, if you think about it, Hurricane Andrew came right after that, and she was found. I forget exactly where they said she was found, but it was near some kind of body of water. I don't know whether it was like a ditch or something, but they didn't. I couldn't find anywhere they confirmed. From what they made it sound like, there was no evidence to be able to concretely link her to Derrick Todd Lee.
Yeah.
So I think some of the evidence got washed away and they weren't able to.
Well, I think it also stalled any kind of investigation.
Yeah. I mean, it was $1 billion in 1992. That's like so many billions in today's money of damage. So yeah, I think they were pretty tied up with that and didn't really investigate it further at that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they were stretched then.
Yeah,
dealing with hurricane stuff. But yeah, I remember hearing that I think the daughter also saw him kind of like peeking
lurking
through the windows, and I think her and the boyfriend both tried to tell police that, hey, we saw somebody. And
they were like, yeah, we don't believe you.
Right. which, not. I mean, I understand. I guess that from their perspective of like, of course you saw somebody.
Yeah.
You know, but also you should also follow every lead and make sure.
Yeah. But again, it's that age-old thing of like these small town police guys. They have pressure to solve it. Not excusing, them not following up on that lead, but it's like they're not as well equipped to deal with these types of investigations that, Baton Rouge police are, state police, that kind of stuff.
I wonder if they arrested or tried to bring any charges on the ex-boyfriend at the time.
I can't.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. I think they just probably questioned him.
Yeah, I never saw anything where they arrested him or something or anything like that.
Yeah. Poor guy. And the daughter, they're trying to process like the mom being gone and being accused.
Yeah. Yeah, that had to be
and then
tough.
Nobody believing what you say. Right?
Yeah. Well, I wonder if she was with him at the time that they tried to say, because from what I remember, and I could be completely wrong, but
like the daughter, if they were still together.
I think she was at a friend's house though. I don't think she was with the boyfriend at the time that the mom.
Murder?
Yeah.
Okay. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's probably another head trip of like, I'm sure she was even questioning it.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if, But also that's like, that's like any time, a couple and the wife's murder or anybody, you always look at the other.
Yeah.
Well,
you look at the men around who are around her, and I think I read something that he said, him and the mom didn't always necessarily get along.
Right.
He didn't always agree with like the stuff he was, I don't know, like some rules around the house, I'm sure, Yeah. But he wouldn't have, he was like, that was, I wouldn't harm her.
Right.
Because of that, but.
Yeah. So what's the next one? Or there was another one before, right?
No, she was the first, like...
In the, like, chronologically.
Timeline, yeah. And so that was in 1992. And then in 1998, Randy Mabrewer went missing from her home in Zachary. So this is the one our friend Jessica, shout out Jessica, was telling me about. So it was Randy and her son, and it seems like they were just getting home from something.
Yeah. So this is the husband, or no, this is...
Randy and her son. Her son is 3 years old at the time.
Oh, so he was there when...
Yeah. And so she went missing on April 18th of 1998. She was 28 years old at the time. Her son was 3. The neighbors noticed something was wrong when they saw her son just outside by himself.
Yeah.
And so they came outside, saw the son. The son, poor thing, he was like, my mommy's lost. That's all he could say. Yeah. And so the neighbor went inside her house to kind of investigate and see what was going on. And they found large amounts of blood.
Yeah, like drag marks. Those are usually the pictures that you see too. I think that scene.
Yeah. And they quoted as saying like a violent struggle. There were signs of a violent struggle in the home.
And didn't he take her car?
I didn't read that. But that very well.
Because they didn't find her.
I don't think they found her.
At the house, yeah.
They didn't find her at all.
Oh.
They never found her body.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because that's, I don't think he took her car. I think her car was still there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm seeing the picture and you can see her car still parked in the garage. So
there was like essentially no reason for her not to be there, Yeah. And they found a large amount of blood in the house. So it was very plain to them that either she was seriously injured or she had been killed from the amount of blood that was found. And then the way that they kind of linked her or suspected Lee was kind of strange. But it was so like East Feliciana detective. He had a relative of his apparently owned some type of company. I'm not sure what kind of company, whatever.
Yeah.
But an employee of this relative of the detective had mentioned that it's not exactly clear what the relationship with the employee and Derrick Todd Lee were. Maybe they worked together at some point. Mm-hmm. Is kind of what it sounded like, but I'm not sure. But he spent some time around Derrick Todd Lee, and Derrick was talking about Randy.
Okay. After, and this is after she's gone missing.
Right. Yeah. And the police were able, based on a couple of different things, they were able to get a subpoena to take a DNA swab from him.
Yeah.
And they said he was acting real weird when they tried to swab him. He was being kind of evasive, like trying to get around it. And then when they did actually swab him, his demeanor like totally changed. They said he went from like this defensive, aggressive, evasive person to like a whipped puppy.
Yeah.
Is what they...
Like he thought he was caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they never actually said that the DNA was linked that I could find. I'm assuming it was.
Yeah.
Because they swabbed him and they linked this this investigation to him. But they only swabbed her, the items in her home. Yeah. They never found her body.
Right. They may have found his DNA in her home.
In the home. So I don't think that's enough to conclusively say that he killed. In the law's eyes, it's not enough to conclusively convict him of a murder, just finding the DNA in her home.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she is essentially linked to Derrick Todd Lee at that point.
Yeah.
So.
I wonder, did the son see all of it happen?
I would assume so.
Yeah. I wonder if...
I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, how do you question a 3-year-old about that?
Right.
Yeah, this is 1998, so I'm sure there are forensic interviewers that specialize in that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But this is Zachary, Louisiana. Yeah. So it's like, maybe they could have interviewed him, but
yeah,
I don't know if they would have had the resources to conduct a proper forensic interview on a traumatized 3-year-old.
Yeah. That's tough.
That poor baby.
Mm-hmm. What was and that was the two
that were linked before Gina Wilson Green and the rest of the victims.
Yeah, and if anyone hadn't seen the part 1, we went over the first 3 victims, and also the victim that got away.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then in my research, they said there might be a second girl that got away.
So I just read that email that it was one of the detectives. I thought it was detective. He was a detective in the case of one of a victim that got away.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, because I was like, I wonder if it's because I only knew of the one we talked about in part 1. And I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name, but yeah, maybe there was another one.
Her name, I'm not gonna share her name. You can go and find it if you're really into it.
Yeah.
And you want to know that. I'm not comfortable sharing their names.
That's right. We didn't mention her name.
But apparently there were actually 2 women who got away.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we can get him on and have that conversation.
Yeah.
So what's we're on the fourth victim?
Yes.
Yeah.
The fourth, well, we're on the fifth, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So Trinisha Danae Collum, from what I can tell, everybody called her Danae. She went by her middle name.
That's the brother.
Yeah.
We'll have his interview at the end of this episode. Yeah.
She was only 23 years old. She was in the Army for 2 years, and she was planning on joining the Marines after that.
Yeah, and what he told, because they're from Lafayette.
Yeah.
And this happened in Lafayette. But from what he told me, because he's 4 years older than her. Mm-hmm. And he told me she was like a real, like she was into sports and stuff in high school, but she was like kind of stayed to herself.
Yeah.
I think she really liked to read and was like very, I guess independent.
Yeah, she looks like she's a tough girl.
Right.
Who is intelligent and like just like a sweet person. That's that's the vibe that I get.
And he was at the time it happened, he was living in Baton Rouge. I think he was at LSU.
Yeah.
And she was home from the Army.
Right.
And she was supposed to come visit him
soon.
That weekend. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So she was reported missing by her family on November 22nd of 2002. Her body was found 2 days later by a hunter in a field in Scott, Louisiana.
I think it was 3 days from what he said. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Or on the third day. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. And it took about a month for them to link the DNA found to Derrick Todd Lee.
Yeah.
And this is it's important to note in a certain sense that initially she wasn't considered to be a victim of Derrick Todd Lee only because all of the other victims were white and she was the first Black woman to be murdered.
Well, and this is and I'll talk a little more about this one because I just interviewed with him. But they found her car at like a graveyard.
Yeah, so she was going to visit her mom, is what it says, and she had gotten back in her car.
Their mom had just passed like 6 months before that of cancer.
Poor baby.
Yeah.
They said what they think happened is she went to the grave, she visited the grave, got back in her car, and was kind of just sitting there for a moment.
That's so crazy.
Like, to think that he was watching her in the,
Yeah.
It almost it's making me emotional, but, like,
yeah.
This is a private moment of, like, grief. And for a sociopath, whatever you want to call him, to be watching her in this hard moment of grief and to take advantage of that is beyond sickening.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and I guess like what came out of this though is that his dad and him, they started a foundation. Which that family, like I feel for, not that, but like sitting down and talking to him because like 6 months before this happened, they lost their mom. And he said, his dad, still.
Understandably.
Right.
Yeah.
But they started a foundation through this. And he was telling me too, which I thought was cool, is so all the families of the victims are really close.
Yeah.
And he was saying they all went to each of the trial, like every time one of the families had to be in court for something, they all
showed up for each other. Yeah. And, yeah, a lot of the families, they turn their pain into something, I don't want to say productive, but
It is something positive.
Something positive, you know. Murray Pace's mom, she fought and, you know, went to court, and she lobbied for legislation, and, you know, the Janae's family set up a foundation for her. Carrie Lynn Yoder's family set up a scholarship fund at LSU for her, and it's just really remarkable. It's one of the things I love about Louisiana is, like, we take care of our own, you know, and for something so painful and scary and sickening to happen, and tragic to happen to these women, and for their families to just love one another and support one another through this is just incredible.
Yeah, and we, because I asked him some questions about, like, because I know when Derrick Todd Lee passed in prison, before the death sentence was carried out, him and his dad did an interview, I think with WAFB or one of the news channels. But I asked him, I was like, you know, how does that, you know, did you get any kind of closure, I guess, from, like, you know.
And closure is so relative.
Right.
Like,
and what he did say, though, he was like, we didn't have to go to court anymore. You know what I mean? Like, he's like,
he didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, because he's like, that's what you don't realize is after these things happen, he's like, we were in court like a couple times a year.
Yeah, like
reliving
all the appeals.
all of this stuff, and because he was still going through appeals when he died in prison.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that that's something that people don't realize. I didn't realize it. You know, and especially and you can imagine. It's a lot if you know, like, your family member is the only victim, but then, like, you know, I remember that he said all of these families showed up for every, and these were all separate court dates. You know, this is 7 women, maybe more. So and that's what he said. You know, he's like, it's, you know, this was like 25 years ago, and he's like, we're still talking about it, and still, you know, and that's, I think that was powerful for me to hear. Yeah. You know, because I can't imagine, man. And it's crazy, because, like, and I was telling him, you know, I have a sister that's 4 years younger than me. Yeah. And, like, that, I can't even imagine. Right. You know.
It's unbelievable. It really is.
But yeah, back to your. At first, they didn't think it was linked to him, and he even said that. He's like, we didn't think
it wasn't,
because he was like, he's like, all the other victims were white. Not only that, but he's like, this was in Lafayette. Yeah, you know,
statistically, most serial killers, they stick to a certain victimology. They kill a certain race.
That's where
age range.
He's. Yeah, man, that's the weird thing about Derrick Todd Lee is he didn't really seem to have like, most serial killers have a type, for lack of better words, and he really didn't seem to have one.
And to me, what it seems like, it's like he watched these women and he laid in wait for an opportunity, you know, and maybe he was like working out there or...
And I think that's too, because, like, I've seen the stuff where people are like, oh, he was a scapegoat, you know, or he didn't really do this. And I'm like, I'm not a detective. I haven't seen the DNA. I don't even know how DNA works. I think he did it.
He absolutely did.
I mean, I hate to see that. You know what I mean? I hate that for the families. Like, not that it doesn't matter, but it's like that. That's like,
who are you?
The least of, you know, like, we've got, these 7 families who have been destroyed.
Their lives have been torn apart,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, yeah, he's definitely guilty.
Yeah.
But it's just so tragic to see these women who, they had so much life ahead of them, you know? Their families were destroyed and torn apart, you know, for just POS.
Yeah, and I also asked, because I was like, I asked if they ever got to, like, not confront him, but you know how, like...
They'll do, like, an interview.
He said they did.
I bet he was too... Derrick Todd Lee was too chicken shit to face.
Well, he never gave a reason for any of the victims.
Yeah.
He never talked about it.
Yeah.
He never confessed to anything.
Yeah.
At least not that I've heard. I could be wrong, but yeah.
And I did read when they were trying to swap him for Randy's murder, he was kind of saying, y'all are doing this to set me up, blah, blah, you know, cursing at the cops and, you know, but then again, once they did swap him, he acted like, all right, you got me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's the thing, too, because, I mean, I know you're the same way of, like, I don't ever want to see anybody that's innocent go to prison for, you know, but, like, I do not think he was innocent at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I could be wrong in this. I mean, he had a history of violence against women before this.
He had a history of a lot of things.
You know?
The peeping Tom stuff.
And domestic violence.
Domestic violence, yeah.
You know? He wasn't innocent by any means.
Yeah, that's what I always heard too. After he was arrested, was like he was always on police's radar. They just never thought he would
get to that point.
Yeah, or you know, be able to get away with it as long as he did.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the victims.
Yeah, enough about him.
Yeah.
The final victim, and the one he was arrested after, was Carrie Lynn Yoder. Mm-hmm. She was originally from Tampa, Florida, or that area in Florida. She was a doctoral student at LSU studying ecology. Mm-hmm. She had got her bachelor's, I want to say, from University of Florida. Mm-hmm. And then she went to another university to get her master's degree, and then came to LSU.
So she was at, I wonder if she was at LSU for a doctorate?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
She was found, she went missing on March 5th, 2003. And then on March 13th, her body was found near the Whiskey Bay Bridge. They said a few hundred yards away from where Pam Kenmore was found.
Yeah.
She was beaten and strangled. And DNA linked her to the other victims immediately after that. And after that was when he was finally arrested. So I think her murder, Charlotte Murray Pace, and maybe Pam Kenmore were the 3 he was convicted of.
Yeah.
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 She was a beautiful, just beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. Looks like your typical early 2000s chick with the curly hair,
right.
Just, you know. And as I was saying, like her family and the people at LSU, they have a memorial scholarship set up for her, or in memory of her, you know.
Yeah. Which is like always, it's cool, and it always makes me think of like, I don't know if like how I would, because I don't think you can even imagine how you would
feel.
But like to see these families come and like
come together,
do stuff like that, and make, you know, like a tragedy something have something positive come out of that. Because I don't know, I would be really mad.
And hopefully that scholarship has been awarded and
Right.
helped people.
No, I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also the cool thing about doing this series is like, we had, one of the family members come on and do an interview. I've got to talk to a couple other family members, and I appreciate all the family that's reached out and been willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure it's, 'cause you think about that too, is like, do they have to relive it like every time something even like this comes out talking about it, which was something we talked about before we did this.
Yeah. Because, again, we don't want to focus on and glorify the murderer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we want to do. That's not,
Yeah.
Because I believe, at least in the past, again, we've kind of, our culture and this true crime thing, we've moved away from that, and initially true crime was just basically glorifying and sensationalizing these killers.
Mm-hmm.
And they truly don't deserve a platform.
Right.
The stories that need to be told about the victims and the tragedy of these victims and their lives lost to such senseless violence,
Well, and I talked when I interviewed the guy that did the documentary that our next series is on, and we were talking about that, because I also came up and I was super interested in these different serial killers and for me more how their brains work and what led to the things they did. But we were talking about this same thing and I think as people like to be scared in a safe environment.
Right.
And I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
When you learn about these horrible things that happened, and but you don't ever you get to hear about it, and you get that feeling of that's crazy or whatever, but in a safe environment. It's almost like a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Which and it's made me question what I like and what and is that made me look at
what your motives were.
When I think it's what's kind of happened on this podcast is where we've decided to focus more on the victims and I think that's where true crime's going.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of it. Definitely not all of it.
Not all of
it.
No.
There'll still be the stuff about the serial killers and all that, and I think there is a space for that.
Sure.
Because I do think that we got to talking about True Detective.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally that's how the FBI got the profilers.
Mm-hmm.
They literally sat down with a serial killer.
Yeah. And studied
him, and it helped them catch more of these people.
Right.
So I think there is a space for that.
Right.
But yeah, I do also think that true crime, at least in the last couple of years, is starting to move towards more focus on the victims and their stories.
They're the ones who deserve our empathy and our time. Their stories are the ones that need to be told.
Yeah.
Because that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed this
series.
Well, I enjoyed learning about them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said, growing up in Baton Rouge and Louisiana in general, you grew up hearing these names.
Yeah.
You know, but you never really, you know, the main focus was always him.
Right.
And so yeah, I enjoyed learning more about them and their, because that's, I think, is the saddest thing, because like all of these people, you know, not that anybody, but like all of these people were going to school for, you know, a lot of LSU, you know, like really promising lives cut
young
short,
women.
and then women with families and kids, and like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Right.
So, but I appreciate you doing this with me.
Well, I love doing it with you.
Yeah. And like I said, y'all keep watching, because we're gonna put the interview with what was her name?
Danae.
Yeah, her brother. Welcome, man. Welcome to the Louisiana Legends podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out and coming on. Why don't you introduce yourself and we'll go from there.
I'm Sterling Colomb Jr. I'm Danae Colomb's brother. Mm-hmm. And just one of the victims of Derrick Todd Lee. You know.
Yeah. And which, I guess start from the beginning. What was it like growing up with her?
She was way more adventurous than I am.
Yeah.
She was a handful, man. But she taught herself how to speak different languages. Mm-hmm. I would never do that to myself. She wanted to go on Survivor. You know, she was just, if she had her mind set on something, she will try and go for it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did y'all grow up at?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay. And what, well, she was living in Baton Rouge.
No, I
Okay.
was.
Okay.
I moved out here, went to LSU, and she was living in Lafayette.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, she was in the military, and she was at home on a break when all this happened.
So it happened in Lafayette?
It happened in Lafayette.
Okay.
Yes.
And what, when did she go into the military?
When she graduated high school, she went to Northwestern in Natchitoches for a year or two, and then she joined the military.
Yeah.
So, right, I guess 20-ish. Yeah.
What'd she do in the military?
I couldn't tell you. I know she's in the Army.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know what her job was. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. But
she would write me letters, you know, but I don't know exactly what she did out there.
Yeah, but that was something she always was interested in.
You know what? My dad was in the Army.
Yeah.
So I've never heard her speak about it. So I think when she was in college, she just said, I'm going to the military. And, you know, when you're grown, you can't stop them. You know, you let people make their own decisions when they get to that age. So,
yeah.
And she went to the military, yeah.
So she was on a break from the military when it happened.
As a matter of fact, she was supposed to come stay with me that weekend.
Okay, and she ended up not.
She ended up not making it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it happened before she was coming here?
Yeah, she was coming stay with me that weekend, and my dad called me and asked me, like, you heard from Danae? I say, no.
Yeah.
23. You know, they could have been out and grown, you know, don't worry about them too much. But
right.
She was supposed to come stay with me that weekend that it happened.
And so I guess, what was it like when, like you said, your dad calls you and he hadn't heard from her and you hadn't heard from her. So what happens next?
So my mom died of cancer 6 months before that, in April.
Okay.
And the next thing was someone called, we found her car by the graveyard.
Yeah.
Not her, just her car. And that's when everything really started. Man, we had search parties. Because by the graveyard in Grand Coteau, Louisiana, country little town.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fields. So we're just looking out there to see if we, find something out there, but we never did.
Yeah.
3 days later, we was all at the house. We all was looking for her one day, and we get a call. We looked for her all day one day, like the second or third day. So then everybody would come to my house after. We'd all just go to my house and hang out, and
Yeah.
And we get a call say somebody found a body in Scott, Louisiana. That's like 20 miles away from where we was looking, and it was her.
And I guess when you find when her car comes up in the next to the graveyard, I guess is that when some red flags start going off, like something's,
hardly anything comes good out of that.
Right.
You would hope so, but
yeah,
you very seldom see something good come out of that.
Yeah. So what happens after her body was found?
We had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
We don't know who did it. We don't know if it was random. We had no idea.
Yeah.
Until it was like after the funeral, and my dad got a call saying that when they ran the DNA test, that it was the same DNA as they didn't know it was Derrick Todd Lee at the time.
Right.
The same DNA as the serial killer that was killing the women in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So he hadn't been caught at this time either yet. Yeah.
Actually, she was the second to last victim. They actually had Carriota after.
Right.
After her.
Yeah. So what? And I guess so once they tie her to him, I'm guessing that's when
That's when everything started.
Yeah, a lot of media coverage and questions and it was almost, I hate to say this, it was almost like minor celebrity status. Right.
Not good celebrity status, but
not for what you want to be.
Minor, yeah, man. It was questions, and everywhere you go, the cameras was on you. It was a big case in Louisiana.
Right.
I don't think nothing was bigger than the serial killers out here.
Right.
So.
No, we talked about, because I grew up in Baton Rouge at that time, and I remember just like everyone was scared, and
and the crazy thing is, everyone was scared in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And then when this happened in Lafayette.
Well, I know, and see, and that's the thing, because there was another victim out in Denham.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was, because I guess growing up, I didn't even realize until later on, because I was like 12 or 13 when it was all happening.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize there was victims outside of Baton Rouge until I got older and researched it.
Yeah, she was the only one. Well, she was the only one out of the Baton Rouge area.
Yeah.
That was, identified.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they had another one out towards that way. The lady that got away, I think.
Diane Alexander. Yeah. That was in Broke Ridge.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? So what happens next? After the funeral, obviously there's a bunch of, and they haven't caught him yet at this time.
The search.
Yeah.
We was, police and FBI, everybody it was a search to see who can catch this guy.
Yeah.
So, and it took what? That was 2002. I think they caught him in 2004.
Right.
So we had rallies, like we'd have rallies at the Capitol to keep everybody, vigilant.
Yeah.
Because the guy was still out there. We didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So it was just constant who done this.
Right.
Who done this. Because we had no idea.
Yeah. And how was your dad at the time?
He, like I said, I lost my mom 6 months before that.
Yeah. And
she had cancer. But to see what he went through, I think it's like nothing like losing a kid.
Right.
So it's still rough for him. This is 20-some years later.
Oh, I can imagine.
We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
And he still has his moments,
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, that's got to be tough, man. You never want to bury a kid as a parent.
Yeah.
Especially
in that manner.
Right.
It wasn't like natural cause. It was life taken away from you.
Yeah. Well, it seems like she had so much life.
She had a lot of hair, though. Yeah.
She was in the Army, so she was traveling and seeing the world and just...
Way more ambitious than I am.
Right.
Way more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But she, she was a strong-minded person, man. Like I said, if she put her mind to it, she would do it. It's unfortunate what happened. They took away a person that probably could do some positive in this world.
Right.
So it was a rough time.
Yeah.
That was my baby sister.
And what and we talked about a little bit before we came on about the foundation y'all started.
Yeah.
So how'd that come about?
When my mom died of cancer and this happened to Danae, my dad just wanted to take negative things and turn it into something positive.
Right.
So he started a Cologne Foundation, and he does a lot of positive stuff in the community, like breast cancer awareness events, safety seminars. You know, he hand out turkeys for things. So he does a lot of stuff in the community.
Yeah.
So.
And so what where can people find that foundation, I guess, or to volunteer or help?
We had a website. I'm about to see if it's still up. I can get back to you and let you know. And you can
that's fine. We can link it in the.
Okay.
Yeah. So what was it? So when they finally catch him, what was that feeling? Now you have a face to who took your sister.
Yeah. Well, when you're going through the whole process, and we've never been through this before. They go by statistics.
Yeah.
And the whole time we're going by a 20-something-year-old white male.
Right.
So when his name came out, it was almost like, was that really him?
Right.
In a way, not that I care who did it, black, white, it doesn't matter. Right. But when DNA matched him, we started seeing, yes, this is the guy.
Yeah.
So we didn't believe it at first. Well, I didn't. I don't know if my parents did or something, but yeah. So it's we had the face, but we still didn't have him. Mm-hmm. They still hadn't caught him yet when his name came out as the serial killer.
Yeah. And I guess did they do a trial with her case? Because I know they didn't try him for all of them.
No, we did go to court and he got indicted for it, but we never went to trial.
Yeah.
Because it's we did 2 other ones before that, and what's the point? I keep going here the same thing over and over.
Oh, so y'all had to go for the other victims' cases too.
Yeah, we went. Oh, that's one thing, man. The whole family, all the families.
Yeah.
We became like close knit. So we was there for everything, no matter what victim it was for.
Yeah.
All the families was there.
That's cool.
Yeah, we became very close.
Yeah.
When you're going through the same thing, there's a bunch of different families, and you're all going through one thing. So we was very close knit.
Yeah.
So if it's something was for Mary Pace or Pam Kennemore, we was all there. Or it was for when Danae got arraigned in Lafayette, we was all there.
Mm-hmm. So. You think that made it not easier, but easier to go through with,
It was easier to go through. Plus my family, family was there.
Yeah.
Like my family was our backbone, man. Like they was there for us. Well, the way my family built, it wasn't just us going through it. They was going through it too.
Yeah.
So family and the victim family became our family too. So yeah, that was a lot of support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about her growing up? What was that like?
Man, she was feisty, man. Like she would she was an introvert.
Yeah.
She stayed in her room. She read a lot while I was outside playing and not reading a lot. And she was very introverted. She was taught herself a lot.
Yeah.
She barely went outside. She did, but very seldom.
Yeah.
Totally opposite from me.
And y'all grew up in a smaller town, huh?
In Lafayette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we grew up in Lafayette. We went to the same high school. Well, I was going when she got there because we was 4 years apart, but we went to the same schools.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a sister that's 4 years younger than me.
Yeah, like when I was leaving high school, she was getting into high school. So.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how she was. I mean, she played basketball. She was a cheerleader. Mm-hmm. But as far as at school, I don't know how she was at school because I wasn't there. So.
I'm guessing she had a lot of friends.
And she had some friends. Yeah. Yeah, she had a lot of friends. Because they like on her birthday, or the day she died, they'll post on Facebook, Miss Danae, so she had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Lots.
And what, because I think the interview I saw the WAFB did when he passed away.
Yeah. Me and my dad did an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that feeling, I guess, when he passed? I mean, because you always wonder, and I guess every family's different of a case like this. It's like, because I always ask myself how would I feel if something like that, like would I want him to get the death penalty or would I want, you know what I mean? And I guess that's kind of my question is like, what was your feelings around that?
I had me personally, I'm gonna speak for me.
Yeah.
To me, it was over.
Yeah.
The only thing I won't know is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he would ever decide to say what happened or why he did it, we will never know that. But to me, there was no more court dates.
Yeah.
There was no more going to court. No more, you know. So that was long drawn out when you go to court a lot. So to me, that was the end of the whole.
Yeah.
At least that part of it.
Well, and I'm guessing because he was still trying to appeal.
Still trying to appeal. So we was going to all the appeals.
Yeah, and that's that's the stuff we don't think about. You know, until you're in that situation, it's not over just because he's in there.
We was in court a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
Especially with I think it's 7 victims officially that they.
7 or 8. Yeah.
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 So man, yeah, that must have been tough.
So yeah, we was there for everything. So when he did pass, like I say, it was a.
Yeah.
You know, this is finally. Maybe not be the way we want him to pass, but I mean, it happened, and
right.
We can move forward with our life. You know.
Did y'all ever get a chance to like ask? I know like sometimes the family will get to address him, and like
no.
Okay.
That part.
Because that's what I was wondering too. Like, yeah, like if he ever gave a reason why.
No, we never got to talk to him. Never got to ask him anything. He never spoke about why he did it. So that's like we'll never know what happened to her.
Yeah.
You know, like we do know that she was alive at where her body was found because they found some footsteps of her.
Okay.
They said she fought him, like she fought him to the end.
Good.
But we still don't know why or how did
right.
he
Well, it seems like a lot of the victims' cases is kind of like it just seems so random.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't know how, why, how did he see her? We'll never know that.
Right.
But one good thing is that even though it wasn't the result we wanted, I'm glad we found her.
Yeah.
Because I think
some kind of closure.
Yeah. It wasn't the result we wanted, but if we would have never found her, I think my dad was still he'd either be dead right now or still looking for her.
Oh man, I can imagine that was those 3 days were rough.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
But man, we had a lot of people helping. I had friends from Baton Rouge came down. We had Lafayette Deep.
Yeah.
Cops was helping us, so we had a lot of support.
Yeah. Do you still talk to a lot of those people? Like, I guess on the police side, detectives or whatever?
I ain't spoke to them in a while. I think my dad's still friends with a lot of them. Yeah.
Because I would imagine, there's some kind of relationship that happens with that, too, especially with a big case like this.
Yeah, I've seen some of the detectives out here. If I see them, I'll speak to them. And they'll, hey, how you been? Well, I'll go out my way to talk to them. But if I see them, I'll speak to them.
Yeah. So what? I guess what would you want to people to know about your sister?
That her life was taken too early.
Yeah.
I think she would have been a positive person in this world.
Right.
Like she would have done good things.
Mm-hmm.
So I miss her. I wish. I sometimes think about how life would be if she was still here. What she'd be doing or what her life would be like, what my life would be like with her,
Right.
So I think about that sometimes.
Yeah, and I think, too, because, like, me and my sister being 4 years apart, growing up, we weren't that close.
Yeah.
But later in life, like, when she had a kid and, like, we've gotten, now we hang out all the time.
I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
So she never got to see my oldest son was 1 when this happened.
Okay.
But I have a younger son now. Well, he's 19. It's not young, but
yeah.
So she never really got to,
mm-hmm.
see my kids or raise my kids or be an auntie to my kids.
Right.
So.
And what I guess so. And this is always my thoughts too. Is like, and I try to reach out to victims' families and get, because like we said, I think that's something that's not done a lot nowadays. Is more focus on the people who perpetrate these crimes than the victims and their families.
Yeah.
I guess what are your thoughts on that? You told me you've had a bunch of people reach out and do interviews, but they always want to talk about him.
Well, the way I look at it, I think a serial killers it's a popularity thing.
Yeah.
you know, you can name a million serial killers, but you can't name their victims. Like I can tell you right now, you know, I can name a serial killer right now and ask you who their victims are, you probably wouldn't know.
Right.
So I guess we want to keep the victims' name out. You know, like let, you know, don't make him popular. Make the victims popular. You know.
Yeah.
Let y'all know about them. You know.
Right, and yeah, especially with this. I mean, these were. I mean, your sister was one of the youngest victims, but you know, there's a lot of these victims had full lives and families, and you know, and same as your sister, and I think a lot of that gets forgotten in the story of when this is told. You know what I mean?
It does.
Yeah, and I think at least that's what we're trying to do is offer up more of that side of the story and give family a chance to come on here and talk about their loved ones. Because, I think, and I guess because I asked myself the same question too, you know, because, I mean, obviously I have a passion for true crime. That's why we have a podcast. But, you know, mine is always, I try to figure out, like, you know, kind of why these people do what they do. You know,
I wish I knew.
Right, and I think it's I think it's normal that we don't understand. Yeah, you know what I mean. For whatever reason, you know, these people end up doing these things, and I think I think it becomes like a popular thing to talk about when it's really not. You know, it's sad, really sad.
I mean, these women. I mean, how did he pick these women? How did he? Not that I want it to happen to anyone,
right?
But you know, but how did he single out these women that he picked? You know,
it seems so random.
Yeah.
Especially
when it happened to my sister, kind of threw, you know, not making it a race issue, but she was the only black,
right? Yeah,
that was linked to him.
And it's probably why at first they didn't even.
No.
Yeah.
He was nowhere on our mind.
Right.
Nowhere on our radar at all.
Yeah. Well, because when you think about people who do these things, they usually have a particular type.
Yeah.
You know, and his was, even with age, he kind of went wherever.
And then she was in Lafayette.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it threw off everything.
Yeah.
So that's why we was still kind of cautious when it came out, but. Yeah. So.
Well, is there anything else you wanted us to talk about before we wrapped it up, or?
Oh man, thank you for having me. I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to speak about her.
Yeah.
You know, speak about her and what happened to her, and you know, our foundation. Mm-hmm. You know, we do take donations, but my dad does. Well, I say my dad, but all of us do nice stuff in the community.
Yeah.
With our foundation, like I said, he took a negative and made it positive, and so it's I wish he was still here.
Right.
You know? But you know, that's what happened in life. Yeah. But like I say, it's for us to be sitting here talking about this 20-some years ago. That shows you what kind of case this was, and what we've been going through for the last 20-some years.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm sure it's kind of up and down roller coaster of emotions, you know.
It is, but I stay strong for my dad.
Yeah.
You know, so I have my moments.
Right.
You know, so I have my moments, but I stay strong for him, and you know. Like I said, I wish you was still here, man. You know, I still, like I said, I still think about what life would be like.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have somebody to watch my kids when they was young. If I had something to do.
Right.
You know, so, but.
You know. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. It means a lot to us, and I know it'll mean a lot to people who watch this.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.